Journaling your travels is such a beautiful way to preserve memories. It's not just about the places you visit, it's about the things like the memory you shared with the people you travel with, the people you met during your travel, the conversation with strangers, the handwritten notes, ticket stubs, and all the little moments you want to hold on to. Personally, I like to journal about my travel after the trip because when I'm traveling, I want to be fully present, exploring, taking in the sights, and making the most of each day. And let's be real, by the time I'm back at the hotel, most of the time I just want to rest and recharge for my next adventure. So for me, journaling during the trip doesn't really work. I prefer to set aside quiet time after the trip when I can really sit down, reflect, and bring all the memories together with intention and details. But of course, journaling after the trip also means I was coming back with a suitcase full of memorabilia, photos, and stories. The amount of tangible things that I carried home can feel overwhelming, especially after a long trip. That's why in this video, I'm sharing my travel journaling process from my recent 7-day trip to Perth, Australia. I'm gonna share my tips and ideas on how to memory collecting and keeping it in your journal. You could say that this can be your guide for traveling journal as well. So I will walk you through into 3 sections. The first one is what to prepare before you go. The second one is what to collect and notice during the trip. And then finally, I will show you how I travel journal and turn it all into journal spreads that are filled with my treasured memory. So whether you are about to travel, just got back from your trip, or you want to document a past adventure and you love memory keeping as well, this video is for you. So get yourself your favorite beverage, get cozy, and let's start with the first one, which is what to prepare before the trip. Before my trip starts, there are a few simple things that I like to prepare and bring to make my travel journaling easier. The first thing is a pouch or a zip bag to store ephemera. Things like ticket, receipt, brochure, packaging, or any little bits you pick up along the way. And yeah, trust me, this makes a huge difference because, instead of stuffing everything into random pockets or in your bag, you will have one dedicated place to collect all of those memorabilia. And I would like to make sure the pouch has a zipper as well, so nothing falls out. Next, I also like to bring a small notebook or a journal to jot down daily notes during the travel. I use my Hobonichi Wix, but really any small notebook will do. And each day I will write a quick list of what I did just in bullet points, and if something special happens, I might add a short note about it. And honestly, it only takes a couple of minutes and it helps so much later when I'm putting together my full journal spreads. And of course, you will need a pen. Most hotel rooms have one, but I prefer to bring my own, especially since I carry my Hobonichi with me during the day. So that way, if I am commuting or waiting somewhere and an idea pops into my head or I want to write something about the day, I can just write it down right away. And yeah, these few simple things, a pouch, a notebook, and a pen, are really all you need to start your travel journaling. Now let's talk about what to collect during your trip, and this is a really fun part, and I think the secret is to just shift your mindset a little. When you are in travel journaling mode, you start seeing everyday things as potential treasures. So for example, at the airport, you can grab your boarding pass, baggage tags, or even a flight packaging. And when you arrive, you can pick up a few free brochures at the airport. This is one of the best free junk that I collected because travel brochure often include maps and they make amazing backgrounds for your journal spread. So definitely pick more than one for that. Then when you are out exploring in your destination and when you are in a cafe or a restaurant, Don't be shy to ask if they have a business card or any stickers. Most of the time, they are more than happy to share them. You can also take a takeaway menu if it's cute or has a nice design. And then don't forget to take the packaging from your food or beverage, and then you can also collect train or bus tickets, receipts, and with the receipt, it can fade over time. So if there is one you really want to keep, you can scan or photocopy it later and add to your journal. A very important thing to do, in my opinion, is to take photos, and not just like the big sides but the little things too. I like taking picture of my coffee cup, the food I ate, buildings I love, and even my outfits. These little details are such a great storytelling tools, I would say, when you are journaling later. I also love buying paper souvenirs, things like postcards, greeting cards, or notepads. So anything that I feel like reflecting the place I'm visiting. And in this trip, I found a notepad printed with Australian bank note designs, and it's just so fun. And I even trick my friends and my pen pals into thinking I sent the money, which it is so hilarious. It is only a notepad. And I also wrote a little note to myself in a postcard. So I basically sent myself a postcard using real postage stamps from there and mail it to my home. And I also sent a couple of you guys a surprise mail when I was there. So yeah, I like to send postcards whenever I have spare time. And receiving something from yourself in the future, I don't know, it's a bit special, I would say. It's like a travel memory sent from the past me. And last but not least, what you want to do during your travel is to not forget to use that notebook or a small journal that you brought each night or anytime that you have a spare time. Take just like a minute or two to jot down what you did. Just with simple bullet points are more than enough. You can jot down things like where you went, what you ate, any small moments or conversations that stood out. These notes will be a lifesaver when you sit down to journal later in your home. Alright, now we are on the last section. Now that you are home and surrounded by all the things you have collected, it can feel a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. All the tickets, photos, receipts, brochures, and all the little pieces of your trip staring at you. These are called ephemera, which is basically, it means temporary everyday paper items that aren't meant to last but hold a meaning when you collect them. And for us who like to memory keep, they become treasures. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do when I get back from my travel is to print the photos that I want to include. I usually go for 3R size, which is 9 by 13 centimeters, printed on Fujifilm photo paper. I find this size fits perfectly with my A5 size journal. And I love fussy cutting the photos, as you've seen in the snippets in the video already. I like to make them a part of the collage. I personally print my photos at a print shop because it's super affordable and easy here. I also have an Instax printer which I use for more personal photos that I rather not share with the print shop. So you can print your picture however convenient for you. Next, of course, you want to prepare a journal. You can honestly use any notebook or journal that you love, but I like to use a journal that I made myself. So my handmade journals are designed with a wide spine because I know they will get bulky from all of the ephemera and packaging that I will add, because that's just the journaling style that I do. And a wider spine helps the journal close nicely and keeps it looking neat even when it is very full and bulky. Alright, now you have all the essentials. Let's get to the business. The first thing that I do is separating my ephemera and photos by day. And that way, if I want to journal in chronological order, everything's already organized. So yeah, there is no rules on how you want to journal your travel memories. For each day, you can create one spread that summarizes the whole day, or you can also break it down into smaller spreads that highlight special moments during that day. So really just follow what feels right and what brings joy for you. This process should be fun and exciting. When I journal, I like to build each spread around a focal point. So a focal point here, maybe it can be a photo, a ticket, or an ephemera that I want to highlight. So the way I build my journal spreads usually, and please take note, this is not a rule, this is just how I usually do. So I usually start with a background, and the background here, it can be the page itself that is bound already in my journal, or I can add brochure, pattern paper, or maps. As you can see here, I'm using the map from the travel brochure from the airport, and spoiler alert, you will see many in this travel journal spread. But yeah, usually those kind of things, and then I find a spot or a position to add the focal point for this spread. So yeah, as you can see here, for this spread, I want my photo of me and my husband at the airport as kind of like the focal point on the left page, and then I also want to incorporate my boarding pass. So yeah, this is the position that I try to fit for them. And then on the right side, I want the koala to be the focal point. And I'm making the koala as a flip out here because it's fun. I like to play around with interactive elements as well in my journal. And to make the koala into a flip out, I'm just using washi tape, as you can see here. And by the way guys, I will not show all of the process video for each spread on today's video because we will sit for like 2 hours for that, and that's also because I love to journal in my quiet moments without the pressure of camera. But I will talk through the process and will try my best to give you details on like my ideas, my tips, and or my techniques in today's travel journal guide video. And if you are interested on my in-depth journaling process video, I have heaps of that kind of videos on my channel, and I put them all under a playlist called Journal With Me. So definitely check that playlist after this video if you are interested. Alright, so what you are seeing on the video right now is I am using a packaging from a bookstore to make an accordion flap to put my photos. You have seen that I printed a lot of photos, and that's because this trip is quite long for me, and each day there's just so many interesting things and a couple of tricks to fit all of the photos. First, I would say fussy cutting the photo and make them a part of a collage, which you will see more later, like in details in this video. And another way is to make an accordion flap like this, so you can fit many photos in one spread. And it is also an interactive element, so it's so fun to open and close it. Alright, where were we? We were talking about my journaling process. So after putting my background, glue down my focal points, after that I like to decorate with stickers, washi tapes, and other stationery things that I feel like fitting and joyful for me to look at. Then usually I will add my written journaling at the end, but not always. Sometimes I did the written journaling first, then the stickers, but yeah, it just depends. It just depends on what I feel on each spread. While journaling, another tips is you can also mix and match your ephemera. Don't feel like you have to use everything on the exact day you got it. For example, I use a map from the map from the brochure from day one across multiple spreads because it worked as a nice background, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. It also makes a cohesive theme and elements, I would say, throughout this travel journal spreads. as I mentioned earlier, I love fussy cutting my photos. Not only it looks super cute, but it also helps me fit more photos into a spread, just like what I mentioned earlier. I don't know, it just looks so cute for collaging, and this is also the reason why I like to print my photos in Fujifilm photo paper and in this size as well. If you are someone who enjoys long form writing, you can leave space for journaling by using memo pads, labels, or leaving blank areas. You can also add interactive elements like pockets, accordion flap, or tip-ins, just what you saw me in this video. It's a great way for tucking away personal thoughts or adding extra writing space. Having interactive elements also makes your journal more tactile and fun to flip through. Another way to bring your spreads to life is by adding your own doodles, sketches, or watercolors, gouache. Stickers and washi tape can help highlight parts of your story as well. And yeah, it just brings some extra charm, I would say. And one final reminder, you don't have to finish it all in one sit or in one go. For longer trips, it might take several sessions. Give yourself a grace. Let this be a relaxing and enjoyable process. And yeah, I finished this travel journal spreads in like a week or so. So I didn't force myself to just, finish it in one go. But yeah, I just wanted to have like a quiet moment as well. So yeah, that's my final reminder. But one tip from my own experience is don't wait too long to start. The sooner you begin, the more the excitement and little details are still fresh in your mind. And if you still want to keep going after you have journaled each day and all of the travel journal memories in your journal, you can make an extra pages, and some of the ideas are something like a recap spread. So in here I have my travel outfits kind of recap, and then I also have a spread full of receipts and packaging, and then I also have this pocket that store extra bits and bobs like photos and also receipts, and yeah, just the ephemera that I want to keep but not necessarily have place in my spreads. And I also have this travel recap, so it's basically just answering some travel journal prompts like highlight of the travel, what I enjoy the most seeing, the best food, most unexpected thing that I experienced during my travel. And yeah, just something like this. I think it's really fun and you can kind of reflect on what's happening in your travel as well. And once it is finished, your journal becomes something so special. It is a keepsake filled with memories, stories, and creativity. It is like a time capsule that you can revisit anytime. So it's quite cool, isn't it? So yeah, that's how I travel journal, from preparation, collecting during travel, to crafting each spread at home. I really hope this video gave you ideas, encouragement, and also inspiration to document your travels. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe as well if you haven't already. It really means a lot. It really helps me. And then yeah, I would love to hear from you as well if you have any questions, and tell me what's something you love to collect during your trip and what's your favorite thing about travel journaling. So let me know, let's have a chat on the comment section. And I think that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching and having your time with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.